Hi, thank you for joining IEW U.S. History-Based Writing Lessons. These classes will start as soon as possible. I would say give it a day after you see this orientation, and your first video will be uploaded, and you'll be able to view the recordings. My name is Sharon Riedel, and I will be teaching these classes for this semester. It'll be 15 classes, and that's about 15 hours of writing. And far as outside work time, I would say about 20 minutes each day. I do recommend working on it every single day after you view the recorded lesson. The reason being is because the first day, we're going to go ahead and get into that on the next slide. In class, we will work on the outline. And the next day, you can finish your outline and also you can recite the outline out loud. And the next day, you will work on your rough draft and you're going to use your outline to create sentences. And then the third day is when you will write your final draft or type it, whichever works best for you. Some people may write their final draft and then type their final draft. You do want to make sure your parent or an older sibling looks over your rough draft for anything that needs to be corrected, for any mistakes or any punctuation. And then you will be able to write your final draft. Now, I do recommend writing in pen. So I recommend a pen. Um, Andrew recommends, the guy who wrote IEW, he recommends writing in a pen. That way you don't erase all the time. With a pen, you can just scratch out and rewrite. There's nothing wrong with scratching out on your paper, making corrections. There's nothing wrong with that. So I do recommend using a pen. And then typing the final draft, of course. It is very important to type and understand how to type. So I do recommend taking a typing class as well. Or you can have someone who doesn't want to type your final draft for you. And the final draft will need to be double spaced and just big enough so I can read it. And you will upload your um, final draft to Google Classroom. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack really quick and come back to this slide in a minute. I want you to be aware that there are downloads. In your student book, there's a blue page and it says access your downloads. And you will see lesson reproducible checklist. That's the checklist that you will use for each lesson. It's a checklist to help you make sure you have everything that's necessary for the paper that you're going to be turning in. Okay. And I would say use the reproducible so that you don't mess up your book. There's really no reason to use the book to write in. It can be sold or used for another student. Okay. But it's up to you. You know, you can choose to write in if you prefer. And then there will be lesson blackline masters as well, and a sample keyword outlines. So you can visit IEW.com/USH-E to download these materials. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be doing the first 15 lessons. That's going to be part one, semester one, June through October. Okay. Or whenever you choose to attend. And then the next 15 lessons will be part two, and that will be next semester in October. And so there are some optional books to read to go with the lessons, and that is in the scope and sequence. So I recommend getting some of those books so that you can get some more reading in this school year. And I will be using one of the books. It's the Witch of Blackbird Pond. It's related to history. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce that book and kind of include it in the lessons. We can use that for model writing at times and also comprehension. We can use it for many, many things. I like combining reading with writing sometimes because you obviously have to look at good writing in order to understand how to write well. Okay? All right, so I'm going to move on to the next part. Now, you will need some materials. I recommend a 3-ring binder of some sort, a binder that can fit tabs and paper, okay, like a medium-sized binder, okay, because you will need to make sure you have enough space to have everything in there. I'll go over how to put your tabs in there and what to put in which tab, but all your reproducibles, I would put those in one tab. And then there's going to be a student resource packet. Now, the student resource packet is available to download, and you can see that as well on IEW.com/USHE. Okay, and that resource packet is very important. No, it's going to be at a different link, and I will email that so that your parents can print that off for you. It's kind of a huge packet. It has like a many lists of LY verbs, band verbs, and adjectives, everything that IEW represents, the model specifically. Okay. And of course, you're going to need paper so that you can do your different writing lessons. Okay. So I'm back to this page. Let's talk about the checklist. And if you can, look at your checklist in your book. It's going to be like in any of the lessons, and it's going to be the last page of any of the lessons. And this is the page that you will use where it will tell you to make sure you have your name and date in the upper left-hand corner. Make sure your title is centered. Make sure it's double spaced. And it will have everything that you need to do on that checklist. Okay, so the checklist is a reproducible, meaning it can be reused once you print it out for each lesson. So you will turn it in to the Google Classroom, and I will grade it and make any corrections on the actual assignment via Google Classroom, and you will be able to see the comments and the recommendations that I put on a paper. And then there will be a final grade. Now, you can, once I make the corrections, you can correct it easily by making the corrections right there in your document. That's the beautiful thing about Word documents. And then I will give you a final grade. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. And I do thank you for joining this orientation. I wish to see you in the following class. Thank you so much. You guys enjoy your day. Bye.